Hi everyone. Happy with love, Megan Eve. Not long to go now. Now, last time we had a Harry and Meghan show for so it was for the documentary. It went live at around 8 a.m. UK time. So I don't know if it's going to be the same thing this time, what time it will go live, but that's the time it went live for Harry and Meghan. So I'm just going to assume it will be around 8 a.m. UK time. I don't know if it will be midnight. I mean, it could be, but if I'm going on last time, it'll be sometime in the morning. And we all know the haters as well as the fans are ready. Jokes aside, I am just so happy that we are finally here, that we finally got to a place that we almost never thought that we would get. And we've been getting so many treats in the lead up, stories, posts, trailers, and now an interview from people. The perfect drop. Wasn't expecting this at all, actually. There was speculation as to whether or not Meghan would do a media tour, but it's been very unpredictable, which I think is a good thing. Like the tabloids haven't been able to anticipate exactly what is coming, and I like that. I like the anticipation. I like the mystery. But Meghan having social media, I feel like because she's been posting on her personal page, all of this hits differently. There's more control over the narrative than we've ever had. This was actually a very good interview, by the way. I'm going to read it in full because actually from her she speaks. They didn't twist anything in any way, like what's happened with the past, like with the cut interview. People can be very s- um sometimes they can be a bit arsey towards the other royals. So I won't say like I'm a huge fan of people. I think they try to kind of walk the middle line. But this is a very good interview. So let's catch up with some other things that I've missed because I've been away, and then we will get into it and read it. Also, shout out to the squaddies that took these pictures with Love Megan billboard, video billboard in Times Square. Very nice. Also, this was the last story that Megan posted with little Lily and Auntie Serena playing a Candyland board game, customized one, by the way. I think that this is probably their game room slash family room. I can see Archie's piano in the background and the chair that we saw Harry reading stories with the kids too. So this is probably like their family slash game room. Um, and little Lily in her cute little pajamas that sold out. Y'all are selling out the children's pajamas. Megan also posted this other picture hugging Serena. Now we've now got pat pictures from this actually. I think they had gone out for lunch. Here we go. So you can see she's wearing the same outfit. So that story was taken on this day. Just looking chill with her girly. You know, Megan and Serena have been friends. I did like a whole video on their friendship actually. They have been friends for a long time. Their friendship dates back to Meghan's pre-royal life. And I think this is one of the things that just angers the trolls because they have continuously pushed the narrative that Meghan doesn't, she's fallen out with all of her friends, that she ghosts people, that her and Harry have been, shunned by celebrities and all this nonsense. Well, she had friends and people that she was close to within famous circles, long before she became royal. She was a good connector. Um, Also, this from Rebecca Sussex. She posted this on her stories, and I thought it was a very good point. Somebody posted, "Y'all went from hollering the kids were fake and being mad that she won't show the children to now being mad that she shows glimpses of them. Make it make sense." Oh, accidentally closed my browser there. Even with these glimpses, you never see their face front on. I couldn't tell you what they look like if I met them in real life from any other child, and that's the point. They are protecting them and sharing what they want whilst keeping them safe. Yeah, that's a very good point. And Rebecca saying, I completely agree. Meghan and Harry have every right to control how much of their children's lives they share. Some people in this world are truly sick who see how they create defamatory content, flock to post about Meghan to simply abuse and troll her, and will do anything to harm them, which makes their decision to protect their kids even more important. People share what they want about their own lives, yet when it comes to the Sussexes, there's this obsession with controlling what they do just to feed certain narratives. This is no different from how Princess Beatrice and her husband have never shown their children's face, but still share glimpses of them when they choose, yet don't show face. Yeah, sorry, yet they don't face the same scrutiny. Yeah, I think the narrative just changes with Harry and Meghan, depending on what can send the most vitriol their way. They can never do anything right. Anyway, it's great that the kids are just surrounded by some sense of normalcy, and we're going to get more info on that in Meghan's interview. Don't have to worry about being around any weird uncles that were hanging around Jeffrey Epstein. Every single time I think about um, things like that, it just makes me shudder. That this is what royal children have to grow up around in that institution, in that so called firm. It's unhealthy for everyone. It's unhealthy for the people in it. It's unhealthy that we put that nonsense on a pedestal. Anyway, I'm not going to get too much into those type of rants today. We can have that another day. We also got another preview trailer. This one of Megan making rainbow fruit salad. Nothing like a good old rainbow fruit salad. I love that we're just going to get little tips to just add more joy to our cooking, more creativity. I've been trying to become more of a homemaker, and sometimes it's just the simple things, you know. I don't have to make the most complex dishes. All right, let's check your comments before we get onto the next thing. Mm. Was he? Yes, tomorrow is the day. I am patiently waiting. Gosh, can you believe the fourth has come around so quickly? Yes, Sharon, that little girl is hooked up. Tyler and Serena as auntie and uncle. Lucky, lucky girl indeed. Jedi, I'm sticking to Megan's Instagram and Sussex friendly spaces for the next week, avoiding tabloid trolls. Yeah. Avoid them like the plague. Rahini said, I feel like when it comes to People magazine, it depends on the writer. Yeah, I agree. Tangerine Squeeze, you said, Megan knows who the real ones are and the ones that were ready to sell her out. She rightly didn't let herself be used. Yes, you are literally meant to gatekeep um your who's around you. That's what smart adults do. What is the point of having toxic people around you? And you don't drink a poison and then let it sit in your body. So why would you keep around toxic people? Friends are the family that you choose. So you better choose wisely. Um, all right. Let's go on to the next thing. Hey, hey, Vera. Lightside, you said you already know how I do with the baking and cooking. I just don't have a lot of time of late. Yeah, that's another thing, actually making the time. But I feel like the better you get, the quicker you can do things. And then doing things like meal prep. But yeah, it does still sometimes take some time. You got to get those 30-minute meal recipes. All right, let's get to the People magazine article. I took a quick skim through it and it is very, very good. Mm, So let's read it together. See Daisy. Where is it now? Oh gosh, that's annoying. I just had it open and then it's decided to disappear. Okay. So, Meghan Markle's most intimate interview in years. See, right there, they make it seem like like she's been constantly talking all this time, and it's literally her first proper interview in years. Harry, the kids, and getting real about her learning curve. So, Meghan Markle is curled up in bed with her sleeping 5-year-old son, Prince Archie, on a recent winter evening in Montecito, California. With her phone in hand, she catches up on emails, finalizing details for the launch of her renamed lifestyle brand as ever and her new Netflix series with Love Meghan. Her husband, Prince Harry, 40, is still in Vancouver wrapping up the Invictus Games. Meghan, 43, had joined him for several days, during which she stayed in close touch with her mother, Doria, checking up on Archie and Princess Lilibet, 3, who had both gotten sick, and making sure they were seen by the doctor and sipping bone broth. Now she's savoring the stillness at home with Archie as he stirs awake, sleepingly telling her mama, um, sleepily telling her, Mama, don't work too hard. Recalling the moment to People a few days later, the Duchess of Sussex says, it was the sweetest thing. Like any entrepreneur, Meghan has tackled the hard work of launching a new business, but unlike most, she has done so under an intense spotlight. In March 2024, her initial brand name, American Riviera Orchid, debuted online. 1 month later, jars of jam with the brand's logo began circulating amongst pals like Chrissy Teigen and Dorinda Kaling. Then came a pause as anticipation grew. Questions arose about when the products would be available, while behind the scenes she navigated trademark issues. She says there were tons of twists and turns. Even with the name, she says in her most intimate interview in years, I was figuring it out in real time. And although she faced intense public scrutiny at every step, Meghan says the experience has been defined by growth. I appreciate everyone who gave me grace to make mistakes and figure it out, and also to be forgiving with myself through that. It's a learning curve, she says. As Meghan builds her brand, she also continues to expand her life in Montecito. 5 years have passed since she and Harry made the seismic decision to step back from their roles in the UK and chart their own path, but their titles remain. Meghan says the Sussex name, bestowed upon her and Harry by Queen Elizabeth on their 2018 wedding day, holds a deeper significance than she could have imagined before motherhood. It's our shared family name, and I guess I hadn't recognized how meaningful it would be to me until we had children, she says. I love that that is something that Archie, Lily H, and I all have together. It means a lot to me. The Sussex name, she adds, is part of our love story. Now, let me just stop there. Little bit of a history lesson. This wasn't part of the article, but this came up on my feed, so I thought it'd be interesting to share if you didn't already know this. The Sussex name is not just a title, it carries a legacy of breaking tradition. The first Duke of Sussex was Prince Augustus Frederick, the son of King George III, a figure familiar to many through Bridgerton and Queen Charlotte. Um, I believe he was actually he was someone who was against slavery. Let me just actually look this up. Because I remember reading something about this. Um, just want to make sure that I have this correct because yeah, it was very meaningful that the Queen gave them this name. Sorry, my computer is moving so slowly. Um, he yes. So he was known for his liberal views, such as the abolition of the slave trade, his multiple illegitimate marriages, and for his fascination with literature, science, and religion. There you go. So certainly a rebellious figure, and I think that the perfect title for our two most loved royals here. And I think it's interesting that Meghan says she didn't realize the significance until she had kids, and I think even though I would say most of us here are anti-monarchy, um for them this is their family. It's what Harry was born into, it's what Meghan married into, it's what their kids are part of, it's part of their family history, and there are many who would love to see them erased from that history. And so I think it's, even though they can't use their HRH anymore in any official capacity, even though they wouldn't need to, for them to still have the Sussex family name and that be a part of their what links them together. I think that's a beautiful thing, and that Meghan has now seen it from that perspective now that they have children. So the article goes on to say, when your children get to a certain age, oh, sorry. Now, with her new series debuting March 4th on Netflix, she is sharing her personal passions, including cooking, hostessing, and decorating with their biggest audience yet. When your children get to a certain age, when you're not just playing in the sandbox with them, but almost playing in your own sandbox again, it's super joyful, she says. As a woman, a mom, and a wife, to be able to find yourself again in a way that was always present, but that you maybe couldn't put as much attention on as you can when your kids are a little bit older, is a wonderful feeling. Although the couple's 2022 Netflix docuseries, The Record Breaking Harry and Meghan, famously pulled back the curtain on their struggles within the royal family, this time there's no mention of anything royal. Thank God. Harry himself makes only a fleeting appearance in the final episode, but his presence was felt behind the scenes. Whenever Harry visited the set, he was always super polite and friendly, a crew member tells People, but it was clear he wanted this to be Meghan's moment to shine. Meghan's 8-episode lifestyle show sees her cooking, crafting, and gardening with friends and chefs while sharing personal stories and recipes, a natural extension of her pre-royal life. In 2014, while filming Suits in Toronto, she launched The Tig, a blog on food, travel, and wellness years ahead of the influencer boom. But as her relationship with Harry deepened, she shut it down in 2017 and later deleted her Instagram before joining royal life. How hard was it to let go? She says, well, I love The Tig, but I certainly love my husband more. So that was a choice I made at the time, and I wouldn't change that for a second. I still feel like neither her Instagram or the TIG actually needed to be deleted. It could have just stayed live. And I mean, I still don't understand why it had to be deleted versus just, you stop posting and we get to see what Meghan was like pre-royal life. My theory is still that they made her delete it because they wanted to erase that side of her, that part of her life, so they could rebuild a new story. That's still my theory. Like, I still say I can understand if you weren't going to be posting anymore, but I don't understand why everything had to be deleted. Very weird. Anyway, Harry is now loving watching Meghan's step back into her creative groove. My husband met me when I had the TIG, and I see the spark in his eyes when he sees me doing the thing I was doing when he first met me, she says. Even though the activities on her show feel familiar, To Meghan's longtime followers, the filming pushed her beyond the comfort zone she knew from her 7 seasons on Suits. She says, I was never really in front of the camera like this. Reflecting on the legal drama, which became one of Netflix's most streamed shows in 2023, she adds, it's a time capsule for me. I still have the pencil skirt from the first episode. That's the one thing I kept. Ah, she remains close to co-stars like Abigail Spencer and is excited to see the upcoming Suits LA on Peacock. I love that it gets a new breath of fresh air. Her new show isn't a traditional stand and stir format, an industry term Megan learned during filming to describe most cooking shows. It feels as though we're just spending time together, which is what it ended up being. She says of the crew's presence on the series, I'd make a recipe and say, everyone try this. And there are certain dishes where you just watch everyone flock in. I'd say, we've run out of spoons. It ended up being so communal. And that's the spirit of the show, adds director Michael Steed, who previously worked on the Emmy winning series Anthony Bourdain Parts Unknown. Everything has this one version, everyone has this one version of her, but she's just someone who is hustling and working and doing. I genuinely wanted to create an environment where she could relax, and I know the pressures of what she deals with on a daily basis. I was happy that we created scenes where we could tap into that part of her life. So, along with featuring her domestic skills, With Love Meghan also highlights her own product line, which will be available on asever.com. Meghan has hinted that her signature jam will be among the offerings, set to launch this spring. Also launching this spring, her new podcast with Lemonada Media. Yes, so confirmation of the new podcast. She's back on Instagram too for the first time in years. When I was last on social media, Boomerang was a thing, she says, laughing. Instagram stories didn't even exist, so it's been a minute. Oh my God, do you remember when everybody was boomeranging? I ain't boomeranged in a long time. Despite the intense focus on her return to Instagram, where her 2 million followers analyze everything from her outfits to the plates she uses, Meghan doesn't identify as an influencer. I see myself as an entrepreneur and a female founder, she says, and if the brand ends up influential, that's great. Although the show paints a picture of domestic bliss, with Meghan slow cooking berries from her garden, she doesn't consider herself a trad wife, short for traditional wife either. I'm glad that was said, because that's the narrative that the trolls ran with. Mind you, there's nothing wrong with being a traditional wife, but the politics of the term trad wife in its current state is what made that so insulting, especially towards somebody like Meghan. Um, hang on a sec. Okay, so she said, I like being able to do a hybrid, she says. Chinese food delivery is a favorite, but even when I get takeout, I will try to plate it beautifully, says Meghan. She encourages others to strive for balance, not perfection, despite her show's beautiful imagery. The series is about doing what you can do, she says, and doing it with love. That outlook was first noticed by a friend who visited the set and came up with the name of the show. The takeaway was they were so happy to see me as myself, Meghan says. She said, it's like your love letter to all the things you've loved to do. And if you're signing off a love letter, it's with love, Meghan. It felt right, and I love that my friend helped me create it. Oh, that's sweet. Receiving that kind of feedback from her friends, who have quietly supported her throughout the challenges of recent years, has been meaningful for Meghan. You have to imagine my friends' experience through the past few years, she says. They spend all this time with me at home in their houses or out at dinners. For them to see who they know to be reflected on screen, it's brought them a lot of joy. Now it gets even more interesting. Now we're getting to the real good parts. The business part is over. Her private world in Montecito. So, the Montecito community, who have gotten to know her from school drop-offs and playdates with Archie and Lily, have become essential. We hosted a little camp because winter break was long, she says with a laugh. We had several days with different families, at our home, no leaks, and we were able to get to know the parents better, and all the kids could play. Meghan and Harry set up obstacle courses and face painting. It's a dream, she says. Obstacle courses and face painting. That sounds like so much fun. But I also know that being part of a community means you put effort into it. Indeed. In the process, Meghan says Montecito has become protective of the Sussexes. Once you know us, I think you want us to have the same normalcy as parents and for our children as they do, despite however unique our situation is. For Meghan, normal looks like nights out with Harry and pals. We go to a lot of dinners and not just in people's homes or private rooms. We just go into the restaurant, she says. I really love that we can just have fun. Her friendships with other mums have grown beyond school ties into deeper connections. I have a couple of girlfriends up there. These are stay at home mums and working women with normal jobs, not in the public eye, she explains. We went from just connecting through our kids to having girls' night out or doing Pilates together. One confidant recalls how they first connected when Archie and her daughter became fast friends at school. Meghan reached out with a voicemail inviting her to a playdate. You can see that as a unit, the friend says of the Sussexes that they're all very connected. After her son's recent surgery, the friend recalls, Meghan sent a bouquet of balloons and stuffed octopus from Archie and Lily, with a handwritten note that said, "We thought you could use a hug with 8 arms." That's very sweet. And when Meghan was invited to her low key birthday party at home, she showed up despite not knowing anyone else and chatted with other women about mum stuff and life, says the pal. It was just fun and natural. She was comfortable just chilling. Meghan embraces life in her community, whether solo or with friends. I go to yoga classes and sometimes have 40 to 50 people in them and just walk in like, hi. Um, she says, laughing, of course, at the beginning, that felt like a lot. By the way, I think anybody walking into a yoga class with 50 people and everyone looks up and it's going to feel a bit uncomfortable. But now I love it. It's the best. I had missed it. And I love that. Like, I love that she gets to just do like normal things and just feel normal. um, The family's sprawling estate is their sanctuary, which is why Meghan chose to film her show in a nearby rental that echoes their own space. Brilliant idea, in my opinion. I wanted to protect that safe haven, she explains. We're a close knit family, and I love those moments, putting Lily down for a nap, having lunch together, having sacred time together at the end of the day. Our kitchen is where Mama just cooks for the family, and with a crew of 80 plus people, that's a lot of people to have in your house. The show also gives Meghan a chance to put her kid-friendly meals to the test. I'm up before my kids are, so I'm normally up at 6:30 and then I get them up and dressed for the day. And we go downstairs, she says. I love making breakfast for my family. My husband and Archie both love fried eggs, she says. There's lots of bacon around here. And sometimes you don't have time for all of that. You just put in a frozen waffle in the toaster and call it a day. And there's no shame in that either. Not surprisingly, Meghan identifies food as one of her love languages. Even before I was a mum, I love being able to nurture in that way, she says. Some of my favorite childhood moments are the meals that my mum would make. She'd make a lot of soul food. I remember she'd taken a Thai cooking class, so every week we had Thai barbecue chicken and spring rolls. I remember those flavors so well, and I want my kids to have the same formative memories of things that I cook. We call them mama meals, and those are the ones that I hope they come back to when they're older, when they're married, when they have their own kids, and when they go, oh, let's have a mama meal. And it's the same roast chicken I've been making since they were little. So the last part is building a legacy. This was actually my favorite part. While she may not have filmed inside her home, she found ways to incorporate home life into the show, filming in her chicken coop, garden, and orchard. Archie did the Sweet moments, she says. They would also come with my husband and visit me on set, and I loved that my children were able to watch me working and see the balance of that and understand what mama does is working to create and share. It was really special because up until then, they hadn't seen me at work. The crew member recalls how Archie and Lily would run up to Meghan on set. She was um, super attentive and doting on them. We would give them headphones so they could listen to audio. Um, adds Megan, I hope that when they get old enough, they feel proud that they were part of the beginning of this with me. So it's great that they get to see their mum doing her work, doing actual work. Um, The landing page of asever.com features a photo of Meghan and Lilibet hand in hand in their backyard, surrounded by trees. Having her daughter on site was especially meaningful for Meghan. Being able to have my own little girl, as I've spent so much of my life championing the rights of girls and women, and to be able to see this as a multi generational story. Archie is, of course, included in that. My husband is, of course, included in that. But I love the heritage feeling of it and knowing this is something that I can create in front of my daughter and teach her what it's like to be a working mum, she says. This is something that hopefully can be part of her legacy too. I don't think I have to really go hard in explaining just how powerful that paragraph is, especially when you consider what exactly is expected of royal women to be seen and to be a womb, to produce an heir and a spare. So the last part. Life in Montecito has settled into a comfortable rhythm for Meghan and Harry when she's not filming. Afternoons are marked by what they lovingly call day dates, where they share a quiet lunch together. In true parent fashion, the evenings include nightcap recaps, unwinding with a drink, as they chat about their day and make lunch boxes. I think all parents in this phase with the kids the same age know it's rinse and repeat, she says. If there's time, they'll catch up on TV together. We love shrinking. We just finished Black Doves and we're excited for the new season of The White Lotus. Reflecting on the past 5 years since their move, Meghan acknowledges how much is different. 5 years ago, Archie was only 8 or 9 months old, so my life has changed so much, she says, recounting her motherhood journey, welcoming a newborn, being pregnant while raising a toddler, and now raising both Archie and Lily. Anyone who has children will tell you it's a huge evolution as a woman during that time. As she looks ahead to the next 5 or even 10 years, she's open to what's to come. Can you imagine? This is just the beginning. Life is full of surprises, she says, and my gosh, in 10 years, Archie will be driving. And the years just fly by. I mean, I've been doing this podcast for what? Coming to coming to 3. Yeah, goodness knows what in 10 years. What in 10 years? Anyway, that was a lovely, lovely, lovely interview. We're going on to 40 minutes, so I'm actually there was a few other things that I wanted to, cover, but I feel like I've covered all of the most important stories of the day. I can look back at some of the other things that I haven't managed to cover this week tomorrow. Pretty much as soon as I've watched with Love Megan, I will come on and do um a review. I mean, it's 8 episodes. I'll probably watch it at a faster speed so I can get through it faster. But in the evening UK time, I will definitely be doing a review. So let's get through your comments and then we will wrap things up. Thank you so much, everyone. Queen of Turtles, she said, it's amazing how peaceful and positive your feed feels when you block the haters and trolls. Overall, I've only seen positive coverage. And you know what? All of the games that who wanted to play, all of the propaganda, that 60-minute interview with Jason Off, just nonsense. Useless and nonsense. Pointless. Yeah, see lots of pictures with Guy. Those pictures were taken some time ago. And we're going to see him in the show as well. Rest in peace, Guy. You're there for Meghan when you needed her and then went at the right time. Black Queen, the predictable outrage and petition to revoke the Sussex name. I think they gave up on that a while ago, to be honest. But I'm glad that Meghan said it. It's a good reminder. Yeah, avid reader, they hated what they couldn't duplicate. You can't duplicate authenticity. All right, everyone. Thank you as always for being so supportive and patient with me. The time has come. I mean, I'm gonna check Netflix now. Maybe they've made it live. Um, and I might watch one episode before I go to bed, but I'm guessing it will be live in the morning. All right. See you later. I'm not gonna play the outro, by the way. See you later, folks. Ciao.